It looks as if the convention that was held in Ibadan on Friday, the dust has not settled, not just after 10 prominent PDP members were expelled. With the report reaching us today, it looks as if more governors are truly against the expulsion of major critical stakeholders in the PDP. But what will this mean for Nigerian politics as we get towards the 2027 general election is a big question on the minds of many. With that, I want to quickly welcome you to another great time on television. You do know it's Atlantic TV, and it's always on every lovely day, weekday of the week. And we're talking about Viewpoint. And you also do know my name is Mike Egobadia.
What a beautiful day to start off the new week. I know some persons are not happy because of the Super Eagles match, but it's a beautiful day to me, and I am starting it with all of the smiles and energy. Yes, welcome to Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. I am Mercy Irabo, and you know you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV. You know what Viewpoint is all about. To start with the dailies, we go straight into the dialogue. The news comes around, and of course, trending. And to this trending, you know, Monday's edition of Trending is always superb. You don't want to miss that. Well, we need to go on this quick break, and once we return, the dailies will be next.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, the dailies is where we're going next, right here on this awesome, beautiful Monday morning, the beginning of a lovely new week. On the mind, it was a sad one last night. But anyway, no sadness in our voice, excitement it is. And for review today, we have 5 papers. We have The Guardian, The Punch, The Vanguard, Daily Trust, and also The Nation will be telling us what's happening in the nation today. Well, anyway, let's see if we start with The Punch. And The Punch, which is usual, and you always do know it has a stinker, or a puncher to go with. Well, U.S. Congress begin full-scale probe into Nigerian killing. We're talking about alleged Christian genocide, and the riders to follow. Nigerian church leaders to testify at Congress Thursday. Wow. Tinubu peace emissaries meet plateau Christian Fulani leaders. And I'll tell you to read more of that story on page 2. Let's see if we take some other leading stories here on the front page of the Punch this morning. PDP firestorm. Wike camp rejects expulsion as first state challenge Makinde. Remember, I'll be taking a critical look at this later on dialogue as we x-ray on the political tension that seemed to have arose on account of that expulsion. But I'll tell you not to throw away that story, but read it up on page 2. Nearly $3 billion spent on Eurobond debt servicing under Tinubu is a screen on page 21. COP30, presidency, Obi clash over 423-man Nigerian delegation. And that very story is still on page 7. 2027, Oshu Imo Kano lead with 2.3 million voters pre-registration. It's a screamer on page 3. But let's see if we take some other leading stories. Yes, federal workers demand at 5,000 naira wage award arrears is a major one on page 8. Obaseki failed Edo Shumole replies PDP, and more of that reply you can get on page 7. Federal government scholars abroad stage protests over unpaid allowance is a major one on page 21. And a very sad one, Lagos driver flees with employee's car for disaster resumption, page 4 and 5 has that story. Another very sad one, Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigeria's 2026 World Cup dream. And I know many men did not dream well yesterday or sleep well. But anyway, just don't bother yourself, but if you want to read that story up on page 30. Immigration, IOM deepening partnership on border control is a major one on page 3, and a story that's reflecting the picture of the day. Well, that's the much we can take on the Punch.
Let's check out for stories making it to the headlines of the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian this morning, the lead story, 2026 budget delays spark fiscal spending concern and uncertainty, and that's a major one on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's see what we have at the top mass. Abia Assembly writes Tinubu 6 Kanu's unconditional release. That's a major story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Akpabio says it's government's duty to secure Plateau, Nigeria. That's a major and interesting story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Pope Obi weighed in as 33 million Nigerians risk severe hunger in 2026. Yeah, still talking about hunger in the nation. Well, you can read that up on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's take a look at some more major stories still on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Tinubu deploys peace envoy to Plateau as DSS arrests arms dealer. Yeah, this story will be coming up later today on Trending, and you don't want to miss that. You have to stay tuned on Atlantic TV. So you can read that up on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. Democratic Republic of Congo ends Nigeria's 2026 World Cup dreams. This is a disturbing story for some people, especially somebody beside me right now. It's a very disturbing one because he didn't sleep well last night, and we know so many men didn't sleep well. But it's so good to be a lady. I slept like a baby. Well, we can read that on page 38 of the Guardian newspaper. ASU Konoa debunk federal government's foreign paucity claim, laments work conditions. That's a major one on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. PDP's future in doubt after disputed convention returns. Turaki elects a National Working Committee. That's a major one on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. 110,776 Nigerians switch networks as operators process 20.5 billion SMS. That's a major one on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigerians need to support Wike on Federal Capital Territories development, says Ogwejofor. That's on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's take a look at the picture of today. Yeah, we can see Group Chairman, United Bank for Africa, and founder Tony Elumelu Foundation, Mr. Tony Elumelu, with President of Kenya, William Ruto, after visit of Mr. Elumelu to President Ruto as part of African tour to 6 countries when agreements were reached on shaping Africa's future powered by collaboration, innovation, and shared prosperity, and UBA's readiness to finance infrastructure development in Mozambique. And that was held in Nairobi on Thursday. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper.
Daily Trust is the next paper we'll be looking at right here on the paper review. And on Daily Trust, a very sad narrative it is, but anyway, it does exist. Bandits kill 3, abduct 64 in Zamfara. It's quite a disturbing one on the front page of the Daily Trust. And I'll just tell you to read up that story as a major one on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Trust. Let's see if we take some other leading ones. Democratic Republic of Congo end Nigerian World Cup hope. Well, it's more like dreams, and you can get that very sad, disturbing story on page 56. Sokoto government confirms dengue fever outbreak. It's also a disturbing one on page 30. Why bread price remain high despite drop in flour cost is also on page 7. It looks as if so many disturbing stories is on the front page of the Daily Trust. Let's see if we take some other stories. And yes, coalition, we will consider all options for 2027. This is according to the PDP chairman. Remember, I'll be looking at this critically later on Dialogue. Nigerian man kills father, stabs sister in US. You see what I mean? Quite disturbing stories. All on page 33. Mark Ban, Right American Congress, seeks removal from sanction list. Is a major one on page 10. Nigeria refused to hand over Bakari to Cameroon. And it's another major one on page 22. But the picture of the day is the displaced person, internally displaced person, after that bandit attack in Kano. And this will be the first time we're having a critical attack like that in Kano State. We just hope the unnecessary violence does not spread into Kano or Jigawa State. But anyway, that's the much we can take from the Daily Trust.
Let's see what the nation has for us this Monday morning. On the nation this morning, the lead story, Tinubu targets interfaith, inter-ethnic truce in Plateau. And the writer says emissary meets Uruguay, Mieti Allah leaders secures big breakthrough in Jos South farm disputes. And that's a major one on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's take a look at some more leading stories still on the front page of the Nation. Nelfon's disbursement hit 116 billion naira for student fees and upkeeps. That's a major one on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. UK permanent residency seekers to wait for 20 years. Whoa, that's a lot, man. You can get that on page 31 of the Nation newspaper. DSS snaps major arms supplier to armed groups. Like I said, this is coming up later today on Trending. You can read more of it on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Inflation eases for 7th consecutive time. A CPI down by 100 points. You can read more of that on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Let's take a look at some holiday ones still at the front page of the Nation. Oshun leads in voter registration. That's a major one on page 4. Akande Ayedatiwa has turned Ondo into industrial hub. That's a major one on page 31 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see what we have as the picture of the day. That's the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems awarding 150 million in grants to 13 innovative agripreneurs. Yeah, I think agriculture is the new oil money. This is typical of the Agriton, which focuses on boosting innovation in agriculture and supporting agri-entrepreneurs. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Nation newspaper.
Well, the Vanguard will be the next and last paper for us to quickly look at. And on the Vanguard, quite a different story from others. Manufacturers shun bank loans over high interest rates as bank profits rebound to about 2.5 trillion naira. Riders to follow. Loan book size dropped by 20.4%. Finance costs declined by 52.8%. Sector delinking from real economy, worrisome trend, says Muda Yusuf. And banks' economy fall below expectations, says Adori. And this is a fragile recovery, says Ubumide. But anyway, I'll just tell you to read more of that story on page 21. Let's see if we take some other major leading stories still on the front page of the Vanguard this lovely morning. And yes, Tinubu to appoint ambassador soon, says presidency on page 8. Economy, why Nigerian youth in diaspora returning home. You can get more of that story on page 9. UK to allow Nigerians other foreign students switch to innovator founder visa is a major one on page 9. Imo transition incident. We're talking about electricity workers threatening nationwide showdown as Imo transition incident, a dispute and not adoption, according to the police. But I'll tell you to read up that story on page 9. But let's see if we take some other major ones. Still on the front page of the Vanguard this lovely morning. And yes, some major one. Convention of Controversy. Wow, that's the title. How Turakia emerged as PDP national chairman. And you can get more of that story on page 5. Federal government targets 160 billion for wheat production. It's a cheering news on page 8. Why not remain backward despite vast talent? And Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State will be giving us more of that details on page 13. Negotiation rule. I led 600 bandits to surrender. Go for, no, anyway, not me, but Gumi is saying that on page 9. Sanwo-Olu aid false move to divert focus from Apapa to Tinkan Island ports. It's a major one on page 30. But the picture of the day is more like a double header, but I'll stick with the one that is all politics. And we're talking about the PDP convention that was held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where a new national chairman, Turaki, emerged, but it's also been disputed by others of that very party. But anyway, that's much you can take from the Vanguard, and indeed all the papers this morning. I will always implore you, if you find any that truly fancies you, well, do yourself a great deal by going to get them and read them up and see how you can abreast with what seems to be happening in the country at the moment. But talking about the moment, yes, we still do have some time to talk about some major issues on the front page of the papers this morning. And one I want us to critically look at is the issue of insecurity. Plateau State has been a hotbed as it concerns headers and farmers clashes. And recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu feels he needs to do more as it concerns uniting or settling both of the warring factions. But the question still remains, should that be the route to follow? But anyway, we'll still follow the issue of insecurity as about 3 persons were killed and 64 were also abducted, a very large number. And you know that happened in Zamfara State just during the weekend. Still shows a heightened insecurity in the country. And many are already saying, should the US really take their force in and deal with the issues? But also on the Punch, still talking about insecurity, the U.S. Congress is thinking of really investigating about the alleged genocide of Christians, and we do know some major Christians leaders will be also addressing the Congress as they do more of a public hearing on account of that. Mercy, it has been a messy weekend, undermining we lost to the Democratic Republic of Congo, still leaves a sour taste in our mouth as men. But anyway, another major sour one is the issue of insecurity that seems to be raging and having no respite anytime soon. But our prayers is all of that will come to an end. Let's look at it.
Yeah, so
Kano now is a part that used not to be. Now we're having bandits attacking Kano.
So on The Nation this morning, I actually saw Tinubu targets interfaith, inter-ethnic truths in Plateau.
Yeah.
And then I get to wonder, so why is he finally accepting it? I thought before he was trying to run from the problem. Instead of facing the problem and getting a solution, he was trying to run from it, trying to debunk the fact that there's no genocide in the nation until the U.S. until the U.S. President decided to pick interest in all of the things going on in the country, and now he's finally interested in solving the issue. It gets me to wonder that what are we exactly doing? So if Donald Trump has not really said anything about the genocide issue, everybody would just act like nothing is happening in the state. Well, we're waiting for the Congress. We want to hear people speak, in as much as we've been seeing even some Christian leaders coming out to say nothing like genocide in the country. We've been seeing all of that playing out. But let's see what happens during the Congress.
And we just hope it comes or in every way help to deal with the issue of insecurity. That's our only hope. Well, talking about also hope, and many seems to be on the front page of the papers this morning, a leading one that seems to also be on the Vanguard. Manufacturers shun bank loans over high interest rate, and who will blame them? And the climate of doing business in Nigeria is really a very hard one, and many persons are indeed shunning the high interest rates of banks. But irrespective, the banks seem to be smiling at the end of the year with lovely, huge returns. Remember, there's a recent recapitalization of many banks, and it runs into a trillion. So no surprise that they are rebounding rather than losing on account of less person coming for loan. But still talking about business, one that was on the front page of The Nation and one Messi talked about is that of agro. Well, it looks as if, like she said, it's a new oil well in Nigeria, and many persons are now willing to farm. Unlike before, where you feel farmers are just for peasant Nigerians, those not to do well, but now everybody is joining the bandwagon of farming. And I'm asking Messi, what is she going to farm for the Christmas and New Year? Well, is it going to be chicken, turkey, or are we going to have a rabbit as a major delicacy on our farming menu?
Let's leave Mercy out of it for now. Okay, the thing is, I like the fact that all of these things are giving this new generation the interest in agriculture and all of that. I attended this school competitions and all of that, and they were asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And somebody said, I want to be a large-scale farmer. Wow. And I was like, oh, during our era, we always want to be doctors, lawyers, and all of that.
Now we have so many doctors, so many lawyers, that we don't even have farmers.
We don't have farmers. And when he said that thing, I was like, wow, that's a lot. That's to tell you that they know these things now, that when you go into a Greek, you tend to make money. Everybody can't just be waiting for the white collars job. We actually do have things you can do to earn money in the country. And I'm so glad that the Lagos State government was able to give that amount of money. At least it will go a long way to those persons that are really interested in agriculture. So that's a lot coming from the Lagos State government.
Well, anyway, still coming from the papers this morning, and one that's catching a lot of attention, especially Nigerians and those overseas, are UK now. You need to spend 20 years before you get any resident permit. That means you need to be with, or rather be in the country for 20 years. And 20 years, many Nigerians in our local state will say, no be moi. And well, anyway, it's a really large one. And all is centered on you getting your permit. And I'm now asking the question, if you went there at the age of 40, then you'll be a great-grandfather before you get your papers. But if you go there pretty early at the age of 20, you might have gone through 2 divorces before you finally get your paper. Well, a peculiar one, and one many Nigerians are wondering why so long time.
I had this discussion with somebody this morning, telling the person that okay, life is not really greener on the other side like people think.
Yeah.
It's not really greener. We can actually just still stay here. So it means you have to keep doing all of these things for 20 good years. When it was 10 years, some people were like, okay, 10 years, it's very short. But now that's a double. That's 20 years. That's a lot. So I feel maybe this one will just give some people the whole mindset of, let me stay in my country and see how I can actually make the country work, instead of let's just leave. It's not always greener. And then I ask myself, what exactly do you all enjoy when you just want to leave the country? At times you don't even have time for yourself. You want to do 3-4 jobs just to be able to keep up and all of that. But here in the country, you do one job and you just try to manage yourself and all of that. So life is not always greener on the other side. But I am not trying to discourage anybody. If you want to go, it's a free word. So like Mr. Michael said, if you want to go, try to go early so you don't go there and then you're still here to get your PR at age 100. You're still there trying to battle to get your PR.
Anyway, we are not jackparring away yet from the studio. We still have some stories to talk about. And a follow-up to that very story, still on the front page of the Vanguard, the economy, many Nigerians in diaspora are returning back home. And many will say it's a good one, knowing that either the economy in the country is improving or they are trying to come to add up their own quota into the development of the country. But whichever reason it is, many Nigerians are excited because we still have many professionals that we need their input in helping to develop this country. And not just that, but also to improve our economy. Well, talking about improving it, the last word I know we want to talk about, Messi is easy to say,
yes, I was
is the
going
issue
there.
of the World Cup. Better we spill it out first than let's make her rub that bitter taste in our mouth. Well, yeah, Nigerians' hope were really dashed yesterday. I could have some men, my neighbors, they were quarreling out till the morning.
And you.
I think I just slept. But it's all about the issue of Nigeria not going to the World Cup again. Who will believe that Democratic Republic of Congo will be the ones who put that bitter pill in our mouth to swallow. But anyway, we are still having it in our lips. We've not swallowed it yet, but it's a bitter one to fall. But the news, in case you're watching us and you did not hear the result, it ended. Democratic Republic of Congo will be going to the playoff. Why Nigerians? I feel they are already booking their ticket back to Abuja. Sad reality.
So I was just saying, last week when these people won, Mr. Michael was trying to drag me out, saying Mercy doesn't really know anything about football. But I do know a lot about football. But the truth is, I know these people, I know Super Eagles, they're used to this thing they call initial gra-gra. Yes, the beginning, they're hyper, they're all energetic, and then when it comes to the real competition, and then they just dash everybody's hope. But it's so sad because I've never relied on them. Mr. Michael had his hopes high, but it's so bad that they had to just dash his hope yesterday. That's so sad, and I know it's a very disturbing story for you. I feel really bad for you right now. But it is what it is. Like I say, when it comes to the Falcons, trust me, I know the Falcons, we do better. Yes, we do better when it comes to all of this football playing and all of that. But it's so sad that the men just keep disappointing us. The men keep disappointing us, and this is sad. So, Mr. Michael, I don't know if you can advise them. They should go. They really have some really handsome guys in the Super Eagles. So maybe they should just try modeling and leave football for some time.
All I know, I have a shoulder to cry on. Kes is also feeling the pain. We'll cry later. But for now, I've shifted my allegiance to the Super Falcons. They seem to be doing well.
Yes, come to the winning
so
team.
Let's see if we just put our hope there and get a new number 9. That he'll be dressing, or she'll be dressing like Osime, and I'll just feel I'm happy. But anyway, on that very sad note, we've come to the end of this edition of the paper review. But don't be sad about it. Go grab a copy of the papers, any that fancy you. Come on, do read up and indeed get informed. But I need to inform you, we need to go on that break now. But when we come back, it will be time for dialogue. And today we'll be talking about major as it concerns a build-up to the 2027 general elections.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Every year, millions of lives are stolen, dreams cut short, futures traded in silence. Human trafficking is a modern-day slavery. It hides in plain sight, tearing families apart and trapping the vulnerable in fear. But together, we can end it. Together, we can protect, we can rescue, and we can give hope. Say no to exploitation. Say no to slavery. Say no to human trafficking. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Edi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow, I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
The faction of the People's Democratic Party loyal to Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has rejected Saturday's expulsion of prominent party leaders at the convention in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. This even as 4 state chapters of the party have rejected the outcome of the convention in what observers see as a revolt against Governor Seyi Makinde's bid to exert his control of the party. On Friday, the PDP in its Ibadan convention expelled the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, the party's national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the national legal advisor Ajibade and Austin Nwachukwu. Others are Mohammed Abdulrahman, Senator Ohabano, and Abraham Ama. Others are Chief Dan Obi and George Turner. A motion for the expulsion was moved by former National Vice Chairman of the PDP South, Chief Olabode George, as seconded by the Bauchi State PDP Chairman Suleiman Baji, before its eventual adoption by the party's delegates. The convention sparked division among governors as Governor Umaru Fintri of Adamawa State, who chaired the National Organizing Committee of the convention, and the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mufwang, disassociated himself from the Wike expulsion. And just this morning, the camp, or rather the Wike camp, has said that it's laughable what happened in Ibadan, and also claimed that the action of the convention was null and void. And more twist and tension seems to be brewing to elongate that very drama. But as much as the political gladiators slug it out, Nigerians are worried about the build-up of political intolerance, not just in the People's Democratic Party, but also the gale of defection in the ruling All Progressive Congress, with rumor of the Taraba State Governor defecting this week Wednesday from the PDP to the APC, and also putting fears on the minds of many who want to say that indeed Nigeria is now turning into a one-party state. But whether you seem to look at it differently, all we are looking at is that political observers are clearly looking out to all this drama, to a build-up to the 2027 general election, and a need for democracy to be sustained, and a need for us also to talk about it on the show today. And that is political alignment, tension, and intolerance build-up to the 2027 general election. And that's what we're looking at as a major discourse today. We're looking at the whole tension that seems to be brewing on account of a build-up to the 2027 general election, and what Nigerians are indeed expecting to see And that's what we're having as a major discourse on the show today. And to truly help us talk about this, we have no other person but our very own. We're talking about Edewo Egedegbe. He's a human rights capital practitioner, executive director, Value Rebirth Center, director of studies, Value Rebirth Center, Leadership School, and Delta Studies Center. And he's also the coordinator, Transition Monitoring Group, Delta State Steering Committee, a member by the Side-by-Side Movement for Gender Justice and South-South Zone, and the BOT Chairman, Citizens' Right Concern Enhancement Initiative, otherwise known as the Human Rights Protection Congress. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, anyway, I want us to first start with the whole drama that seems to be brewing in the PDP, with the latest that we've just heard. That first state chapter seems to have rejected the outcome of the Ibadan Convention. And not only that, many feel that the governor of Oyo State seems to be wanting to have the control of the party, or have the party under his arm. But anyway, apart from the expulsion and all of that, I'm really interested in getting your view as it concerns the whole drama that is playing out in the PDP. And I want you to take our mind back to when it all started in 2023. So what's your reaction to all that seems to be happening in the PDP at the moment?
Okay, thank you once again for having me. What's happening to the PDP today is quite unfortunate. It's regrettable also that the supposed opposition party that was supposed to give, a fight to the current APC-controlled federal government, and largely almost the states are, falling into the APC, is not putting its house together. So it's quite unfortunate, and is helping to erode the beauty of democracy, where, opposition will also be there to put the government at the center on check. But what we have today now is squabble within the PDP, since, prior to 2023, of course, when the primaries, came up, the likes of Wike and the Atiku, slugging it out, and how the thing turned, that was the beginning of this, a crisis that is unabating as it is today. Now, when the thing happened, some of us were quick to say that, look, PDP should sit back. They should sit back and put their acts together. Whereas they come up to say, oh, PDP is a big family, we have a way of settling our matter. They are never settling those matters, indeed. So today, this is where PDP has gone into. It's so challenging that whereas there are several court processes saying that convention should not go on, we have another court coming, giving go-ahead for convention to go on. Matters at the Court of Appeal, but with that, they still went ahead. And going ahead, you've seen the different, reactions coming in. And don't also forget, prior to this convention, when that judgment came, that ruling came from, the Federal High Court, then of course there was a split. So as it is today, there are two factions of the PDP. One controlled by the Anyanwu-led Ango, then the one controlled by the governor of Oyo State, Makinde-led group. So there's already a faction. Beyond the crisis that we were talking about before, it is clearly factionalized as it is today. So the Anyanwu faction is aligning with the judgment, the ruling of the Federal High Court in Abuja that says the convention should not hold. And that in case they want to go ahead, INEC should not, of course, be part of it.
And funny enough, INEC boycotted it.
INEC didn't show up. So it makes it so laughable, to say the least, that, so how do you now say you've done a convention when INEC, the electoral umpire who supervises whatever happened, with political parties, is not part of it. Aligning with the ruling of a court. So it tells you one simple thing, that Nigerian politicians of today, majority of them, they are so self-serving. They are so self-serving. So anything that happens to the people does not even count for them. It's just for them to, to force themselves in leadership. That's what agitate their minds. And that's what I think has played up in this angle. Now, the other day, people were saying Wike was taking the control of the PDP, he's been controlling the PDP and all that. And he boasted also in his own words, too, that yes, when everybody was, deserting the PDP, post-2015, when PDP lost power at the center, he remained, and as a governor, a two-time governor, he did everything to, salvage the soul of PDP. And so, if they say he's the one controlling it, well, he doesn't have regret for it. He said all of this at those points. Then, of course, prior to when he now wanted to contest for presidency, and he lost the primary, and that was the beginning of the trouble, where he said the presidential candidate cannot come from the north, and the chairman of the party come from the north, which led to the IU being ousted, and this acting chairman came in, and of course, the trouble continued. So, largely put, I think that these are not good signs for our, democracy. They are not good signs. Opposition should, organize, itself to be able to give a government at the center a fight for their money. That's the way it's done in other places. So I think that they must recalibrate at a time like this as a party. Whatever it is, it's interest that drives people. Politics is a game of interest. So, but when your personal interest override the corporate interest, then there's already a conflict. So I think that they should place self-interest to the background and let them, enthrone that inclusiveness, that the people-centric approach to their aspiration. By that, I think they could come out of it.
Okay, now, I just want a quick question, or rather, we talked about the only way they can do is for them to galvanize around themselves and move ahead. But the question still remains. You brought it up, and I brought that up earlier. Do you see this party moving forward if the issues are played out during that primaries in 2022, May to be precise, 2022, that brought Atiku Abubakar to limelight? If those issues are not addressed, can this party really move on? Let's really look at it, because some of the underlying factors all started there. The grievances all started there. The bone of contention is that Wike is still not trusting some certain persons. He felt betrayed him during that primaries, with the main belief that yes, it was time for the South, but the North had to support, or rather the party had to support somebody from the North, which was former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. So let's look at it. Do you see this party moving ahead if those issues are not fully addressed?
I want to trace it back to the formation of PDP in 1998.
Okay.
Nigerians were so gullible. So as a result of that, people just come band things on us and we take them.
Okay.
When I was laughing when PDP keep clamoring that, they are the biggest political party in Africa and all of that they have a way of settling their problems and their internal issues and all of that. Now, from the foundation, can somebody really tell me that yes, PDP foundation was deep-rooted? Or rather, it is the coming together of some friends, political allies of like minds.
Yes.
Those time, they came up, put the PDP together. Because what you see today, the ideology of political parties is not festering in their day-to-day activities. All you see is self-serving missions. Self-serving missions. So does that translate to real democracy in practice? The answer is no. So until a foundation is deep-rooted, whatever you put on that structure will collapse. That's why it's collapsing. Even though they try to, bamboozle Nigerians that they have a way of addressing their issue, they are never addressing them. Their mechanism for addressing, they are never addressing them because they are founded on a faulty foundation. And it's not just PDP alone. The APC we see today, that's at the center now, I pray that they put their ass in order. If not, implosion will also hit it. Today, APC is celebrating that, many governors are falling, decamping to the APC. That is not the uhuru for them. I usually tell them because if all your thinking, your calculation is not people-centered, if it is self-centered, it will outlive its, it will just fade away in no time. And that's also is knocking on their door. APC is doing their 12-year journey now. Yeah. They've done 8 straight years. They are on their 12th year. The third tranche now. So PDP did 16. So they are 11th here now, APC for instance. So I pray that they are also able to learn for what is befalling the PDP today, so that they are able to put themselves together. Or else, we'll just be a laughing stock. The other day, they say, oh, Nigerians fledgling democracy. I say, how can democracy be fledgling at over 25? 25, you shouldn't be saying fledgling democracy.
Should be matured.
It's matured, not should, it's matured. 18 years is maturity age for Nigerians. So anything that has spanned beyond 18 is matured. So let's now give it the thought that it deserves as a matured political, democratic system. Not always say fledgling democracy. When I hear people say these things, I say, look, we just use words. And we don't take to heart what the intendment of those words or the originality of those words is all about. So I think that for PDP, I fear for them. I fear for them because I'm not going to be surprised to hear the hammer from the courts saying that, of course, whatever happened in Oyo is null and void.
Because the INEC was not a part of it.
They were not part of it. They were duly, of course, served. They were published in papers, so nobody can even feign not having those rulings of court or judgments of court. So
okay, so let's leave the legal side of it and look at what really transpired there. And what transpired was the expulsion of Wike and his cohorts. Now, there's this strong belief that Wike is now sounding, with all due respect, like a mole in the PDP by the ruling All Progressive Congress to destabilize the party. And there's this view that if he does not leave the party, that party will never have a bearing. That's the view coming from no other person but Olabode George and also Seyi Makinde. All of them feel the best way the party can move forward is Wike and his cohorts leaving the party. What's your reaction to that?
With due respect to Chief Olabode George, at his age, each time I listen to him talk, he's always lamenting on the front of television each time. And he's quick to saying that PDP is one of the biggest parties, that they have their way of, he's very quick to using that expression each time. But I'm also surprised that he was the first to make that move of expulsion of Wike and his team. Now, so at his age, he's supposed to be sitting at the back, advising the much younger people, based on his experience that he pride, everywhere he goes. But he's throwing tantrums most times. With his utterances, I listen to him a lot on Arise TV. I listen to his conversation channels. He's always lamenting, always calling names. That does not solve problem. It doesn't solve problem. So I believe that he's causing more damage to the soul of the PDP than he thinks he's doing them good, to my mind. Now, when you cause expulsion on Wike and his team, does that address the issue? But let's even now talk about the Wike. No doubt, Wike has brought a new order to our political lexicon. Yes. One, he was vehement, telling Nigerians when he saw what was meted at him at their convention in 2022. And he said he was not going to work with the party candidate because that the party candidate did not emerge through the regular process. But he was talked to at a point, okay, he conceded, then with some conditions that, look, if I must work for the party because I believe in the party, because Wike said nothing will make him leave the PDP. They have boasted why he was governor and all of that. So maybe he's also guided by that and he wants to also remain there. Now, he told them, look, for me to remain, let the chairman of the party now come to the south, since the candidate was in the north. That was the beginning of the problem. And the then article didn't see any light in that. Of course, the issue of vice presidency came, and some people brought a Wike name up. Then the man went for Governor Kowa as his running mate. So all of that helped to deepen the crisis. And Wike said, okay, it's fight to finish. Because politics is a game of fight. It's a game of scheming and maneuvering. So he maneuvered his way. He pitched tent, though in PDP, pitched tent with Asiwaju. He worked for him, delivered him, though he's in PDP. He delivered it. That's why I said Wike has brought a new lexicon to our body democracy in Nigeria. Whether you agree with it or not is a reality today that we are faced with. So now I expected that PDP should be more circumspect in managing that kind of person. Now when President Tinubu won, when he was going to set up his cabinet, he reached out to Wike. And in Wike's wisdom, because it's very strategic in his own way of doing his own thing, he wrote to the party.
To the PDP.
To the PDP. The Damagu himself. He wrote to him that, look, of course, Nigeria is our country.
Yes.
The government of the day, they have requested that I serve in the cabinet. So I need the permission of my party to so do. And they endorse it for him. Damagu, I've listened to Wike said that over and again.
And nobody has come to debunk it.
Nobody debunked it. So he was, I mean, he went there. You can liken it to a secondment, you know, though here, but he's serving the nation. Because the essence of PDP is also to get into power someday and serve Nigeria. Yeah. So who says that does our law forbids a ruling party getting somebody, because it's the preserve of the president to appoint whoever to become a member of his cabinet. And this guy surreptitiously has gotten the approval of the party to be there. So why are members of PDP crying, you know, over speed make? So I see that it's about self-serving interest for all of them crying. Okay, if yesterday it was PDP Wike controlling the party, today now it's Makinde.
Yeah.
Has it not shifted?
Yes, it
so
has.
You now see that it is not really for the soul of the party.
Okay, but who controls it?
But who controls it? That's all. As they continue in that trajectory, it's going to be difficult to salvage the soul of the party. And I think also, and I advise that other political parties should learn from the pitfalls that are befalling the current PDP.
Okay, now, as much as you've said that, I want us now to come to another major one, at least with extract what seems to be in the PDP and why you have strong reservation on how they can move forward if all these underlying factors are not really dealt with. But let's come to another major one. Just on Saturday, to be precise, before yesterday, the governor of Taraba State had a briefing with journalists. And we on Dialogue, as always, were opportune to have that brief. And what he said he'll be decamping to the All Progressive Congress come on Wednesday. And we're talking about Abu Kefas. Now, if he decamps, this will make 5 governors that have left the PDP to the APC under 1 year. Now, the question now is, on the mind of many, is it that the APC is twisting these politicians, these governors, to take the bait? Or, just like the APC would come out to say, they are doing a great job and they are more stable. Hence, these politicians are decamping from their main party to the APC. What's your view on this? Because there's 2 sides of the table. Those that feel they are being twisted, those that feel, no, stability exists here, come home.
No, there's no twisting there, in all fairness. Even I'm not speaking for any political party.
No, you are not of any political party.
So, for me, APC is just doing their thing.
Okay.
These governors are running for political survival. It's not aimed APC are twisting anybody. If they want to maintain their superiority of governors controlling their state party, state and party structure, they should remain. Yeah. But they believe that there is doom ahead for them if they stay with those parties. I think that's why they are threatening to the APC. But I've raised the red flag already earlier.
Expulsion.
Yes. I don't know, beyond the expulsion, that APC should not be savoring that, all is well.
Okay.
Because the coming of this governor is going to lead to another implosion. Don't forget, APC has their own issues.
Yeah.
APC as it is today, I stand to be corrected. I am not aware of the board of trustees, if they have a board of trustees.
No.
I'm not aware if they have even had a convention. They were to do convention before now, but it's been shifted. November is almost going. We're not even hearing anything about convention. The only thing you hear APC is doing now is governors moving in. So if all of these governors moves in, what happens? because they are moving in with interest.
Yeah.
They are moving in with their loyalists. So what happened to those members of the party before?
That were there.
That brought APC to where it becomes, you know, a bride.
That labored for
yes,
the party.
that a bride now that everybody is coming into. That's why I say implosion looms as well. Except
so it's
that
not Eldorado for
no,
them.
it's never. Don't even go there. Don't let anybody also deceive you. And Mr. President should not get himself deceived. Because, you know, sycophants are around all of them. Is he president or governor or even chairman of councils? They are surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing, in my consideration, with due respect to them. That people will tell them things that are not working out there. They come make them believe that all is well, that is not well. So it is not because APC is twisting those governors. It is because they are seeking for their political survival. And they believe that, you mentioned 5. I can tell you here, safely also, that between now and June next year, if PDP could not put themselves together, there will be more of those governors leaving. You just mentioned Abu Kefas of Taraba.
Yes, of Taraba State.
You know, Wednesday. Of course, the governor of Rivers State was not at the convention.
Yes.
He wasn't there. Rivers State was not represented at that convention. So yes, that's to tell you that that's a likelihood of the Rivers also collapsing to the APC. Then, of course, the Barrister Mutwang of Caleb of Plateau State was at the verge of also moving, but he had some internal issues.
APC national chairman.
Yes, so that has not worked out. So those are the 3 that are in the waiting game, so to say. Now, that's for the now. Okay, the governor of, is it Adamawa? No, not Adamawa. No, it's Bauchi State.
Okay. Bala Mohammed.
Bala Mohammed. And I think Bala Mohammed is also challenging some of the happenings today. Yeah. I think one of those governors also went to court to say that the primary should not hold. So all of those ones are in, you know, a danger zone.
Are you saying the instability in the PDP is also causing these defections?
No, but that is the reason now. That's why I said they fear for their political future.
Because we could still remember when Governor Umba of Enugu State defected in October, he said, well, he's defecting because of partnership with the Central, which he wants to bring development to his people. But most certainly another reason is instability in his own party he's leaving. So instability is a factor.
No, it's a factor, and you know, every governor that wants to leave, he will give you
a tangible reason.
He will give you a reason. You remember when our own governor in Delta here wanted to leave, and the spokesperson, I mean the commissioner for information, said when the taste of the palm wine has so there was a way he put that expression in our local parlance, and so they always have one way of qualifying their movement. So it's politics for you.
And we'll not be drinking palm wine here now, but rather hitting the issue. So let's look at it again. As much as you've said you feel instability in the main opposition party is a reason. But my next question is democracy not hot or will be indeed giving a red eye if we have a one-party state? Because that's where it's turning out to be. You've just mentioned almost 3 that seems to be in the waiting and wanting to decamp. Are we going to finally have a one-party state and will it not hold democracy? It's a major question.
No, one-party state can never be healthy for any democratic practice. It can never be healthy. Now, in America, we know of their own. It's been there.
Yes.
But certainly not a one-party state.
No, of course not.
Is either the Democrat or the Republican.
Or independent.
Or independent. It's been like that. So it's never one party. And, you know, don't forget that democracy is not our thing. It's a borrowed thing. So we cannot claim to knowing it more than the people that owns it that we borrowed it from. So one-party state is not uru for us at all. Okay. Which is why opposition parties should get better organized. Better organized. Now, another challenge that is even also affecting the fabric of our political gladiators in Nigeria is the fact that they find it difficult in staying in opposition to challenging the status quo. They are bread and butter politicians who do not have, you know, what I consider as the policies and programs, a manifesto that you
sellable.
Yeah, that you thought about, you brought it out and shared it with Nigerians, and you want to hold on to it to see how you drive it meticulously. We don't have that character. So it's a challenge, which is why I'm saying that opposition should get themselves much more organized. Now, there is an ADC in the corner now. There is an ADC in the corner, which is, that came up like the way APC came up in 2014 prior to 2015. But again, you see that they've nosedived after a while now. Not much is happening there. It's only PDP that is talking. Then Labour, that had to be prior to 2023 election, is also almost going to the cooler. So the question you ask yourself, so is this really the problem of Mr. President causing disaffection in all of this party? I will tell you, capital no. Capital no. It is because those same people, gladiators of those parties, are not seeing beyond their nose. They are not seeing beyond themselves. They are not ready to sacrifice for a better tomorrow for their party. So they believe in the bread and butter politics that you must be in the ruling party to be able to survive in Nigerian politics. Don't forget, Nigerian politics is more juicy than even the oil job like we used to have it in those days. Today now is find your way to politics and you get one appointment, you use, the patrimony of the state under your coffers to fest yourself in office perpetually. So politics is like, a golden ticket now in the Nigerian equation. Which citizens must stand against? Which citizens must stand against? Now, who are these citizens? It is these citizens that also will metamorphose into becoming, a thorn on the flesh of Nigerians when they get into office. So it's a real quagmire that we find ourselves as a people. But I think also we won't stop hitting the nail on the head as God keeps us alive. We will always speak truth to power. Those who have ears, let them hear. But I say this also, that whatever anybody thinks he's doing today, power is transient. Today you are here, tomorrow you will be there. So because of tomorrow, do well today, because there is a tomorrow for every today. And until we are able to have this at the back of our mind, that now inform our decision, our policy formulation, and even implementation, then we will be just running around the circle without making any positive moves after all.
Well, anyway, we're really moving on our discussion, and in case you're joining us, yes, is dialogue that the very first for the very week. And we're talking about the issue of what seems to be playing out in the make-believe, or main, as they call them, opposition party in the country. I'm talking about the People's Democratic Party, and not just looking at that, but also looking at what seems to be happening also in the ruling All Progressives Congress, as we're having a gale of defections, and more will follow, just like what we've just learned, that of Taraba State Governor Agbo Kefas will be decamping to the APC come on Wednesday, which is next tomorrow, this very week. But anyway, as much as we're looking at that, is it good for democracy to almost have a one-party state? How would democracy really fare on that issue of one-party state? Is it going to end up like we have in China, when it's being controlled by the Communist Party and only the Communist Party? Well, anyway, not me saying, but the question many Nigerians are asking. But anyway, like we said, we still have no other person, but I'll call him Comrade Dewa Gedegbe, helping out with all our knowledge of what seems to be transpiring in the country. Well, anyway, you've just talked greatly about all the drama that seems to be playing in most of the party. Undermining, we still have the ADC coming up, if they will come up, and the PDP still emerged in a whole lot of controversy, especially on account of that convention and what seems to be the power play between the Wike bloc and not the Atiku anymore, because it's not in ADC, but the Makinde bloc, who feels he can contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing he's also come from the southwest and is trying to see how he can hold on to that very party. Let's leave all of that, but talk to another major one, because whether we like it or not, elections will take place in 2027. And we've already started seeing some moves being made by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Just in the news today, we learned that some states are already leading in the pre-registration exercise, which when it started, we brought you on board and you greatly talked about. I want us now to go there. Let's leave the politicians, but talk about the umpire. Now, some states are leading with almost 2.3 million votes, while others are lagging behind, especially those from the southeast. But my own now is, are you satisfied with the pre-registration itself, and do you feel this will impact positively as it concerns the elections?
Yeah, thank you. That's another very crucial aspect that we really should beam our torchlight on. I'm not really satisfied.
Okay.
I'm not satisfied for several reasons. One, the publicity on the pre-registration on the part of INEC is not very comely, to my mind.
Okay.
Because at a point, the INEC chairman who began the process, got his tenure ended, and a new man came on board. Now, since this new man came on board, not much has been heard.
Okay.
And that is making a whole of those operations very sketchy.
Yeah.
And time is running.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm not satisfied. For example, network has been a major problem in the pre-registration exercise. We visited a lot of, particularly in Delta here, a lot of those INEC offices, and maybe in some of the offices you have just one machine, some have just two machines for capturing. Now, a local government that have thousands of people who wants to register, and you cannot register more than 60 persons in a day. Oh yes, I know that as a fact. Registration starts by 9 a.m. in the morning, closes by 3 a.m. The portal will be shut. So, how do you now capture a number of thousands of Nigerians who are voting age, or those who may not have had interest before now and then suddenly have interest, they are eligible, they want to come in. Now, we're talking about registering 60 people because of the processes, time frame in a day. And there are some days that network may not even allow for registration of up to 10 people. And I understand that this process the first phase will terminate, I think, by less than a month, in December. Now, there is a constitutional review that is ongoing, that is likely to bring election cycle back to November. So when you put that, juxtapose it with the right of Nigerians to be registered to vote and be voted for, and the system that will register them is not up and running as it should run, are you not going to now disenfranchise Nigerians by that inept? So that's an issue. So I think that INEC should also, double their effort. Double their effort and address those ills that are emanating from, their centers. Ordinarily, by now, there is, when you say 10 to 20 machines should be at the INEC local government offices, dedicate one to a ward. Dedicate one to a ward. If it has to be at the center, at the local government office for control reason, which is also fair, for managing the process so that it's not hijacked by whatever, that's fine. Then, if you're able to do one machine per ward, for local government that have 10 wards, you give them 10 machines. Local government have 11, 12, you give them as that, so you are able to have some level of control and decency. But this one I told you now, my local government, for instance, they have 2 machines. Just 2. And that's a local government that has over, there are some wards there that has more than 30-something voting units. Times 11 ward in a local government.
That's close to 330.
Yes.
360.
Yes, so now, and there are people of voting age in those same wards. You are now using 2 machines to capture them. And there are days that network will not just be there. There are weeks that network will be epileptic throughout.
And nobody being captured.
Nobody being captured.
On the mind, there's a time frame.
On the mind, there's a time frame. That's why I said a lot more has to be put in that process. And I'm using this opportunity to call on INEC to do proper extension. They shouldn't hurry anything because they could be taken up in legal contest for disenfranchising people if they want to go ahead. So I'm speaking to them now that they have to consider elongating the registration process and let them come with more equipment. Then, of course, break it down to the ward level. Let registration move to the ward centers. From that, for instance, I come from the riverine part of this state, and most of those areas, network is not even there. So there should be some level of, makeshift arrangement to capture those people there so that they are not disenfranchised. Or else, then their right would have been freezed upon, and that's a cause for action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, still talking about a cause for action. Yes, it all went down like a week or two ago when we had the Anambra governorship election being concluded and won by the incumbent, Dr. Chukwuma Charles Solodo. Many will say, yes, it might not have been the doing of this new INEC chairman. We're talking about Professor Amoputon, but rather of his predecessor was the one that planned all of that. But I want a quick assessment coming from your own part on how you felt the election went. Give us some minus and some plus, and what you feel this man needs to do to indeed, more like preparation for the general elections come 2027.
Okay, yes, it will be too early to speak on Amoputon's led INEC because he's barely months in the office.
Yes.
I believe
and it will not be fair to him.
It will not be fair, yeah. So I believe he's also, looking at the issues, what he has met on ground and all of that, getting briefing from all the different departments and all that. And in between this time too was when he has to go and superintend over the INEC obstacle elections. So it will be too hasty to assess him. Yes. Yeah. But I want to say that let it not say that, he's just coming in. Because when his name was trusted up, he consented to it, and he knows that
he knows the job.
He knows the job that is up for him. So he better brace up and hit the ground running without the normal excuse of lame excuse of Nigerians when they get into office. They say they want to acclimatize. You don't acclimatize. You don't prepare inside war. You prepare for war. Going to superintend over INEC, a controversial Nigerian INEC, you know that's a thing that you need to ask for even a 48-hour in 24 hours to be able to scale up all of your actions. Yeah. So I expect him to double his effort. That's on the one hand. Then going to talk about the just concluded Anambra election where Governor Soludo was returned as declared by the returning officer. I wasn't there on ground to monitor, but from some of our colleagues that were on ground, they spoke to the fact that yes, it was better. Okay. Yes, in terms of mobilization of materials to the polling units, collation was a lot much better than what we had before. However, they were not unmindful of stating the fact that vote buying was very rampant, and that's an issue that INEC need to deal with. Okay. They need to deal with it, and also it's also another issue that I want the constitutional amendment on the election amendment should also look into. Okay. Vote buying has been very, very
institutionalized.
Institutionalized in our body politic. Okay. There should be a direct legislation to address that. It's not me and you that will go and buy vote.
No, we don't have.
We don't have the means to do so. It is those who have amassed a lot of wealth from our patrimony using their offices. They are the people that trust this money on those people. So we must discourage that with every opportunity that we have, especially with the instrumentality of law. So there should be a proper legislation that will address that going forward. And of course, I've said here before and in other platforms that look, because Nigerians are very slicky, particularly political gladiators, they will leave a loophole in the legislation so that they can explore that when the election comes. So such loophole that we've identified over time, that even our courts of course up to the Supreme Court have highlighted, they should make their way to the new amendment.
To make it law.
To make it law in the Electoral Act. So that nobody will have any excuse or justifying why some certain things were done. For instance, INEC should be very clear that going forward, we have said that election results should be announced, transmitted from the polling unit to the IREF portal. Then straight to the server. So we must, remove collation at the ward level.
Because really has no impact.
It doesn't have anything, because that's where the Oboju comes up. Ward level and local government level. We can do without them.
Yeah.
Now you have your polling unit translated to the IREF portal. Then it's collated from there. You collect it from there, the unit by unit collation, add it together. It's not difficult. But let them now remove those bottlenecks between ward collation and the local government collation. So by that, we will eliminate their normal Greek and toxic way of manipulating, winners of election, then turning them to losers. So these are some very clear-cut things that INEC must, respond to. And another point that I should also emphasize here is the fact that in the amendment ongoing, that thing suits me so well that now INEC will now be the one to defend the election result in a court. Not the loser, not the purported loser who has gone to court to prove that it's been rigged out. Then INEC will say, okay, go and prove. And that was where our people will say, go to court. Because they know that when they go to court, INEC and of course, who they declare winner, they are on one side. Yes. Then of course, security on one side usually. Then the loser against all of them. So that is changing now with the new amendment. And I pray that that sails through and Mr. President give us sense to those amendments. Whereas now that INEC will be the one to defend how that person they gave certificate of return, how he merited that certificate of return. If they are not able to prove that, then of course the court will turn it around, and by that INEC will be sitting up. They will not be playing with my franchise, your franchise on election day.
Okay, well, anyways, as much as you've said this, time is not a friend. You won't believe we've been talking for close to an hour now. But I want, before we go, I want you to set the standard. It will be fair if you do so.
Yes.
I want you to set the standard for what you feel the general elections will be. That's number one. And a follow-up question to that. Do you see Nigerian politicians living above board and being a bit civil as it concerns our elections? Knowing that what's transpiring already. Do you see that happening?
Okay, thank you. I see that happening.
Okay.
I see that happening, and that will be occasioned by the resolve of Nigerian citizens.
Resolve of Nigerian citizens?
Nigerian citizens.
How is that?
Nothing good comes easy.
Most certainly.
So, Nigerian citizens should wake up and put our elected and appointed officers to task each time. We are too gullible. I've said this everywhere. I've even politely and of course with all modesty engage politicians at different levels. There are people I was always appearing with in talking about, in the civil society space, talking about inclusive governance, and today some of them are legislators. They've turned a blind eye to those same things that we were canvassing before. And we watch them, we celebrate them when they come back. See.
So they are not practicing what they preach?
No! Do you see a governor of a state going to commission a 1 kilometer road? Does that make any sense? And if you know what follows governor from one meeting that he goes out of office, you see the number of cars that go with them. All of that is the state patrimony. Check our budget. Government budget, recurrent expenditure, government house expenditure is much more than many ministries put together. What are they using it for? So it is for our populace, the electorate, to hold our government to account. Ask them questions. They weaponize poverty so that prior to election, they come throw some pittance at you, and you say, oh, the governor tried for me, commissioner did this for me, and so you want to ferret towards. That's not it. So they can be above board. Back to your question. If citizens are able to live up to their responsibility by holding them to account, how will I not be able to call a commissioner representing me at the State Executive Council? How will I not be able to have easy access to the House of Assembly member representing me? I should have access to them because they are representing me there. They should know what I'm feeling so that will help them to know exactly the laws to
should
make or the oversight function to embark upon. But once this synergy is not there, once we see them as, oh, they are our leader, how will somebody you send message become your leader overnight? All of those are wrong assertions that they are becoming norm in our society. Some of us, we don't take them with due respect to whoever they are. We don't take such assertions because you are a servant of the people. You serve the people. So society must come of age. Nigerians must come of age to know that these are some basic tenets that entrenches democracy. Not just those gullibility that we pride around. It doesn't concern me. Who said? Who said? I was talking to some people recently who came to talk to me from one of those faiths that, oh, they don't participate in election and all. I said, you don't participate in elections and you get salary from government that was a product of elections? How do you reconcile that? So we must be deliberate about engaging the system. That's one way for them to operate by the rule. Then secondly, citizens also should also throw their heart into the ring. Let's not leave politics for some charlatans alone. Because when you say you don't want to get into it,
it's dirty.
Because it's dirty. I've said over and again, politics is not dirty. It is the operators or politicians that are either dirty or white. Politics is on its own. It is the operators. And inside that dirty operators, there are also neat ones that you can give it to. So why not those who have seen that politics is dirty? Now, I usually tell people, if there is no darkness, what will be the relevance of light?
No.
If they are dirty, that's why you that carry the light, go down and shine the light. So it's not enough to just sit down in one place, do armchair criticism, and you don't want to participate. No. That's why from time, since 1991, I've been engaging in electioneering. From that time to today, that's quite some years. And it's one thing that can help us to enthrone a system. So I believe that Nigeria will get it some point when all of us, you and I, we're always talking here, we go to the field. You know, we're always in the field, trying to engage our citizens, to, you know, conscientize them, build their capacity to know what their rights are, what their privileges are, then of course what their responsibilities are.
Well, anyway, I need to thank you so much. Time is not a friend. We've been talking for close to an hour now. And, well, it's always been enjoyable to have your insight, especially as it concerns our election, your deep regard and also hunger for a more sustained democracy seem to really reflect so much. But I would really want to say thank you so much. And I'm talking of no other person. But Comrade Dewa Gedebe, I always enjoy it when I say you have devalued the rebate because we need to rechange the mindset of almost all Nigerians for us to have a better one. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and also adding your voice, not only to the betterment of the electoral umpire, but also to the intolerance that seems to be existing in our political spaces. Thank you so very much for doing that. Thank you so much.
It's always my pleasure.
Well, anyway, for me, it's more like a wrap on the show today. It has really been interactive and straightforward it is, but I'll tell you, remember the show does not end here and now. Let's always have your views on our different social media platforms. They'll be there right there on your screen so you can interact, share, and comment. And I will be more than happy to have all of those views right here on the platform. But for me, Michael Gobade, what we need to do now is go on a break. Remember, the news will come around the hour. I'm already feeling it. Something is cooking. Trending it is. But get ready, and it's all right here on Viewpoint.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Ninyola.
My name is my wife, Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
The future of the worried child is bold, bright, and limitless. Gone are those days where being from worry means that you are underestimated or being put in a box. Today, the worried child is breaking boundaries in education, innovation, and all things that they set their minds to. We are gathered right here live at the Brown Hill Coliseum in Warri, Delta State for the future of the worried child, a one-day seminar put together for secondary school students in Warri, Delta State, and its aim is to reshape and of course to remind these children that their dreams are valid and they can be anything that they want to be. We will be reshaping destinies and of course putting in the minds of these children that yes, greatness lies within them. The theme for this year is a very powerful one, Beyond Limits, Unlocking the Potential of the Worried Child. Now, this is not just another seminar, this is a movement, one that brings to the knowledge that every child has greatness inside of them. My name is NK and I'll be holding it down right here on the red carpet for Atlantic Media and TV, where we'll be having our special guests and of course we'll be having conversations with our speakers, distinguished guests, and of course our students who are here and ready to learn, to get inspired, and of course to go home with so much enlightenment. Join me on the red carpet as I interview great men and women who will be coming here today to experience this great history in the making.
The future of the worried child is in your mouth. And as long as they can't steal your voice, they cannot steal your future. God bless you all. God bless Ogiame Atuashe III. God bless the children of this great land. God bless Nigeria.
Child can do anything possible because we believe first God made them, and if God made them, God actually made them without limit. So we are trying to sell that dream back to them, no matter what they've been taught, no matter what they've been told, that the worried child is going beyond limit.
To unlock children's potential, it starts with you as the parent.
What we are here to do is to also put them in the direction of, as you are working, also get yourself checked.
Going beyond the limits, beyond unlocking your potential, knowing your place, owning your story, finding the obstacles, identifying them, leaning into the lessons that life throws at you. So generally speaking, it's all about honing yourself and looking around you to solve problems. When you are a problem solver, you will always have value.
I'm a product of worry, so today I am that future standing here, and for that reason I have no doubt the people that will come after us will do greater things.
I feel so amazed by everything that has been going on today. I am truly touched and I'm truly enlightened today.
I feel very nervous coming here, but meeting new people and seeing that, there are lots of opportunities. Thank you most for the opportunity that have given to us, the future of the worried child.
Future of the worried child is me. Thanks to the Corona Care Foundation.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tejure. Here are our top stories. Federal government unveils farmers registry to boost food security. FCT police debunk alleged assassination attempt on naval officer. Workers Forum slams government, declares total support for Jehesu strike. Global tensions rise as US-Russia nuclear treaty nears expiry. DR Congo shatter Nigeria's 2026 World Cup hopes. Now to the news in full. The federal government has announced plans to establish a comprehensive national database for farmers capturing details such as farm size, farm location, and crop type, a move aimed at improving identification and traceability of agricultural produce. In Borno State, the ministry distributed farming tools to smallholder farmers, vulnerable groups, and various farmers' associations. The minister said the gesture was designed to ease production costs and increase productivity, adding that the Farmers Registry will serve as a transparent window for planning, resource allocation, and monitoring. Kyari noted that with accurate data, government interventions will become more efficient, targeted, and impactful across the agricultural sector. The Farmers Registry forms part of the administration's broader efforts to strengthen food security and improve farming outcomes nationwide. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari, who disclosed this in Maiduguri, said the initiative will be implemented in collaboration with the National Identity Management Commission. He noted that the database will help the government better evaluate and support farmers eligible for interventions. President Bola Tinubu has approved a new minimum pension of 32,000 naira for retired paramilitary personnel, with arrears scheduled for payment from September 2025 and full harmonization captured in the 2026 national budget. At the national conference, Kaura said the approval marks a major step forward in addressing long-standing grievances of retired officers who have been advocating improved pension benefits, exemption from the contributory pension scheme, and parity with their military counterparts. He commended the government for the breakthrough but urged the newly inaugurated NARPO executives to sustain unity, discipline, and continued engagement with policymakers. Representatives from the Nigeria Union of Pensioners and other stakeholders also pledged renewed collaboration to ensure retirees receive dignified treatment and access to essential services. The announcement was made by the president of the National Association of Retired Paramilitary Officers, Ezekiel Kaura, during the association's national conference, where stakeholders praised the move but pushed for broader reforms in welfare and healthcare. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has debunked reports alleging an assassination attempt on Lieutenant Ahmed Yerima, describing the claims as false, misleading, and capable of causing unnecessary public panic. According to the police statement released on Sunday night, the command stressed that the alleged attack does not align with any official record. SP Ade cautioned the public against spreading unverified information, warning that such acts could heighten tension in the nation's capital. She encouraged residents to remain vigilant and promptly report suspicious activities to the nearest police station rather than relying on unconfirmed social media claims.
Okay, the video me have video now.
Statements that no such incident was ever reported or recorded anywhere within Abuja, urging residents to disregard the circulating social media posts. Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has issued a stern warning against the spread of incendiary and unverified statements on social media, saying such acts pose a threat to peace and national stability. At a media briefing in Lokoja, the governor cautioned parents to closely monitor their children's online activities, warning that those who allow themselves to be used as tools for political blackmail will face the law. He condemned what he described as an emerging trend of sponsored misinformation, insisting that his administration will protect the state from individuals seeking to inflame political tensions. Ododo reaffirmed the government's commitment to maintaining peace and urged citizens to verify information before sharing it online. He said, "We will not allow anyone use social media to destabilize Kogi State or undermine our nation."
It's in unraveling those behind the campaign of calumny against Mr. President. There's no any other personal interest in it, because we have to make sure we get to the root of this matter. Mr. President is doing all he could to fix this nation, and we are aware that there are some selfish and self-centered politicians that are using our people to cause crisis. And of course, apart from being government, I'm a responsible child. I should be Mr. President's grandchild, and if anybody that's supposed to know the value of a father is now misbehaving, we have to show them that we, the children, we don't take it. So we have nothing so special. We will allow them, we're not going to do anything illegal. We allow the security agencies or the law enforcement agencies to do their work diligently and do the needful.
The governor's warning follows the arrest of Joy Sadiq, popularly known as Real Mama Kogi, who was picked up for circulating a viral video alleging a controversial relationship between President Bola Tinubu and former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello. Governor Ododo says desperate political actors are recruiting unsuspecting youths to disseminate dangerous content aimed at sparking unrest across the state and the country. You're watching our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. We'll go for a short break. When we return, more news stories on the other side.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. The Federal Workers Forum has thrown its weight behind the ongoing Joheso strike, accusing the Tinubu administration of repeatedly violating agreements and neglecting the welfare of health workers across the country. The joint health sector unions, representing nurses, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, and other non-medical staff, has been on strike, pushing for better salaries, hazard allowances, and implementation of long-standing agreements with the government. The forum warned that staff shortages and worsening working conditions pose a threat to public health and urged the federal government to return to the negotiation table with sincerity. It also called for immediate reforms in promotion structures, payment of outstanding arrears, and a comprehensive review of hazard allowances for health workers nationwide. In a statement signed by National Coordinator Andrew Emelieze and Administrative Secretary Ogundele Ayo, the forum describes the situation in the health sector as a national emergency, citing mass exodus of professionals, unpaid arrears, and poor working conditions. Food prices have dropped sharply across major markets in Benue State, bringing relief to consumers who say essential grains are now selling at nearly half of last year's cost. Shoppers in Makurdi told the news agency of Nigeria that staples like beans, rice, and guinea corn have seen significant reductions. A mudu of beans now sells for 1,500 naira, down from 2,300 naira in 2024, while half a 25 kg tin of rice goes for 12,000 naira, a steep fall from 19,000 naira. But the story is different for traders who bought in bulk. Some say they stocked 50 kg bags of beans at 120,000 naira late last year, only to see the price crash to 85,000 naira, while maize dropped from 85,000 naira to 45,000 naira. Economists warn the trend could worsen if government fails to subsidize farm inputs, noting that farmers who spent heavily on production may abandon their fields next season. This comes as the federal government pushes new agricultural reforms aimed at reducing post-harvest losses and strengthening food security under the Renewed Hope agenda. However, traders and farmers are lamenting heavy losses, blaming the crash on oversupply and panic sales after months of hoarding. The standoff between the United States and Russia has intensified, with Presidents Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin issuing competing threats to resume nuclear testing, a move that could trigger global instability. The dispute escalated after President Putin announced in late October that Russia was preparing to test the Poseidon nuclear-powered missile, prompting a swift response from Washington. President Trump soon declared he had authorized what would be America's first nuclear test in more than 3 decades. Moscow later warned that it could match any U.S. test with one of its own, foiling concerns that both nations are inching towards a return to Cold War-style brinkmanship. Global security analysts say the absence of New START, which limits deployed strategic nuclear warheads and provides crucial inspection rights, could remove the last guardrail preventing an arms race. International agencies and allied governments are urging both sides to de-escalate and return to negotiations before the deadline passes. With days ticking down, the world watches anxiously to see whether diplomacy will prevail or whether a new era of nuclear tension is about to begin. This comes as the clock winds down to February 4th, the expiration date of the New START Treaty, the final remaining arms control pact restraining the world's 2 largest nuclear powers. Still on the foreign scene, in Washington, President Donald Trump is set to host Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Tuesday in what officials describe as a near-state visit reception, the first White House visit by the kingdom's de facto ruler since the 2018 Khashoggi killing. The Crown Prince last visited Washington in 2018, months before the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a case that strained U.S.-Saudi relations even after a CIA assessment linked the prince to the killing, a claim he has consistently denied. Despite earlier tensions, including President Biden's past vows to make Saudi Arabia a pariah, both administrations maintained strategic ties, with Trump now pushing to deepen defense cooperation and finalize major weapon deals. Sources say a high-level investment summit will follow the White House events connecting U.S. and Saudi business leaders at the Kennedy Center. Invitations to the Tuesday dinner have already gone out to CEOs, lawmakers, and governors, some personally contacted by Trump. The visit comes months after Trump's own lavish trip to Riyadh, where Saudi authorities pledged $600 billion in U.S. investments and showcased elaborate pageantry. The White House says the visit will feature full ceremonial honors, including a military welcome, an Oval Office meeting, and a black-tie dinner coordinated by First Lady Melania Trump. Analysts say Trump is banking on the prince's support to expand the Abraham Accords and potentially secure Saudi-Israel diplomatic ties. Away from the foreign scene now to sports news, Nigeria's quest for a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup has ended in heartbreak, following a dramatic 4-3 penalty shootout defeat to DR Congo in the African playoff final in Rabat, Morocco. On Sunday night's encounter, Onyeka struck in the 3rd minute after pouncing on a loose ball in the Congolese box, but the Leopards responded in the 32nd minute through Meshak Elia, who finished off a swift counter-attack to level the score. Nigeria struggled to regain momentum, with injuries forcing Victor Osimhen off and tactical changes yielding little impact. DR Congo came close twice in extra time, but both goals were ruled out for fouls in the build-up. In the shootout, Nigeria stumbled early as Calvin Bassey and Moses Simon missed their spot kicks. Stanley Nwabali made 2 saves to keep hope alive, but Semi Ajayi's miss in the sudden death round proved costly. DR Congo captain Chanel Mbemba sealed the victory, ending Nigeria's dream of reaching the Intercontinental Playoff. DR Congo now joins Bolivia and New Caledonia in the Six-Nation tournament scheduled for March 2026 in Mexico, where the final 2 World Cup slots will be decided. Although the Super Eagles started brightly and took an early lead through Frank Onyeka, defensive lapses, missed chances, and a tense extra time period saw the game stretch into penalties where Nigeria failed to hold their nerves. Chelsea's push for a sixth straight WSL title has taken a hit after Liverpool held them to a 1-1 draw in a spirited contest on Sunday. Chelsea struck early through Alisa Thompson, who called home in the 9th minute after a sharp pass from Wiki captain. But Liverpool hit back in the 32nd minute as informed Beta Olsen netted her third goal in as many games, sprinting onto Lily Woodham's through ball and finishing past Livia Peng. Chelsea thought they had snatched the win when RG Bever-Jones rounded the keeper and scored mid-second half. But a flag went up after offside. Liverpool held firm under late pressure, with Woodham praising her side's resilience, saying the team stuck together and stayed determined. Elsewhere, West Ham United claimed their first win of the season with a 3-1 victory over Everton, lifting them off the bottom of the table. Brighton cruised past Leicester City 4-1 to move up to 7th, while the London City Lionesses continued their climb with a 3-1 win over Aston Villa. The Blues now sit 3 points behind leaders Manchester City, while the draw earns bottom-placed Liverpool just their second point of the season, easing pressure on Gareth Taylor's side. And with that sport news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today, right here on Atlantic TV. Do also follow us on all our social media platforms for more news stories and headline updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a pleasant day.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
I am SP Dafe Bright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to come. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. If you are just joining, it's Trending O'Clock. This is where we'll talk about all the trending and juicy gist on the internet and of course give our opinions about them. I am Mercy Irabo, and you know I can never be alone in the studio once it's trending. Who is joining us this Monday morning? Mr. Michael Gubadia. Mr. Michael, thank you for always joining me on
Anyway, it's a lovely Monday morning, and we know a whole lot will come out from the weekend.
Yes, from the weekend we
Yes,
had
it was
lots
trendy then.
of gist. Let's not waste time, let's dive straight into it. The Department of State Services, that is the DSS, has arrested a suspected major arms supplier in Plateau State, identified as Musa Abubakar. He is believed to be a key dealer supplying weapons to armed groups operating in Plateau and other parts of northern Nigeria. According to DSS sources, his arrest followed precise intelligence that led operatives to him on November 12, 2025. The agency reports that Abubakar has confessed to manufacturing and distributing high-caliber weapons and ammunition used in violent attacks across the region. The DSS says investigations are ongoing and more updates will follow as the story develops. But right now, this is actually a major breakthrough, but a single arrest cannot curb all of the terrorism attacks going on in the northern parts of Nigeria. I feel they should really work more, because this is supposed to lead to other syndicate groups, other networks, because he can't just be the only supplier in Nigeria. So they have a lot to do when it comes to just this arrest.
Well, you're very true, and it's right. But you know, making such major breakthrough is the key and the beginning in getting more of these persons being apprehended.
Yeah.
And well, you agree with me that the northeast, northwest, north central, and is now creeping into the south, has been a march with a whole lot of violence, and such persons are the one instigating and promoting them, because they sell arms to these bandwagon bandits and terrorists, and in every way they're also merchants of death. So definitely having one in the bag will definitely lead to the arrest of others.
Yes, the DSS deserve their credits for their timely response to that. But like I said, this single arrest is like trying to solve a bigger puzzle. We need to know who are the buyers, who are the suppliers, who are the sponsors, because they have sponsors. We see all of this ammunitions that this terrorists use, and you know that, okay, they have serious sponsors that really need to be identified. Well, this is a developing story, and definitely I'm sure all of those things will come to light once investigations continue. Well, away from that, I saw this very troubling report coming out from Nasarawa State. Some children were allegedly thrown out of their home after the death of their parents. That's a very heartbreaking one. According to reports, they recently lost their parents and have been living as orphans. But instead of receiving support, their uncle allegedly took over their late father's property and sent them out with nowhere in mind to go. Well, let's see the footage.
Please, we are calling on the state governor of Nasarawa State, human rights, and Brekete family. Please come to the aid of these children. We are in Nasarawa last year. This is happening live in Nasarawa State. They are orphans, 3 of them, no father, no mother, and their uncle has taken over their property. They don't have anywhere to go to. The list of them is just 16 years. We are calling on human rights. Please, anybody that gets this video should please repost so that it will get to the due course. Please, we need people to repost this video. Please, help these children, no father, no mother.
Well, the human rights are yet to release an official report concerning this incident, but issues like this raises concern about all of these things people go through when orphans, people that were supposed to protect them, are now the major source of their pain. Yes, we see this on Nollywood, and you just don't think it happens, but truly this is not uncommon. It happens, just that I feel this modern era, we shouldn't be having more of these cases and all of that going on. But we're yet to receive a report from the human rights activists, but this is a very heartbreaking story,
Well,
Mr. Michael.
Indeed, it's a very heartbreaking story, and this brings us to parents. You know, life is something you cannot really place your finger on. I will always plead with parents, irrespective of the age of the children, please ensure you have your will right out and indeed put somewhere. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. Nobody's wishing for death, but sometimes it just calls. So it's important you send out those wills so as family especially when somebody goes, and that's the problem we're always facing. But irrespective, we're really calling on many civil society organizations. Please, like somebody like VDM, let him not fight Mr. Jollof on that very plane. Let him think of really handling this issue. And many others. I feel with this viral video going viral, many persons will come on board to see how they can truly help that family. But it's really heartbreaking to see somebody that should have been protecting the children now turning around to inflict anger, pain, and a whole lot of frustration on them. It's common sight. It's common sight, especially in the country.
Yeah, no child should actually lose parents and still lose their home. It's a very sad one. And then no family member should weaponize grief for personal gain. This is really heartbreaking. Like I said, I don't want to put myself in the shoes right now, but I feel the Nasarawa state government, the authorities in Nasarawa state need to step in. They need to investigate this story. This is one story that we Nigerians cannot just ignore. Yes, we can't ignore this. They need justice. These children need justice. They are orphans. Where do they start from? Where do they move to from there? So these are questions that need answers. So we feel authorities in Nasarawa state should step in. We need these children to get all the justice that they deserve. Well, this is actually a developing story. I don't know why we're having more of developing stories today, but once we get more updates concerning this story, we'll definitely bring them to you. So away from that, I actually saw this very viral statement from Chimamanda Adichie, a renowned writer and feminist. Chimamanda Adichie has shared a strong message directed at young Nigerian feminists. Yeah, I know Mr. Michael would say, yes, Mercy, whenever you want to talk, you used to say, not the kind of Nigerian feminist. Yes, I'm a feminist, but not the one I see here. So I think I am able to relate well to what Chimamanda Adichie has to say. Well, let's see the footage.
I often say to young Nigerian feminists, I say to them, please do not use feminism to justify your wickedness, right? Because sometimes a woman, right? So you have some of these young women, I'm talking to them, and they sound really mean. And I say, you know what? This isn't feminism. You're just really nasty.
Well, her statement is very simple. Feminism is supposed to be a movement and not cruelty. It shouldn't be a license for wickedness. Yeah, I see some people with some really bad and shitty behavior, I'm sorry to use that word, and then they end up saying, I am feminist. I wonder why you're trying to fight. You're having what you're trying to fight. You're asking for equality, you're asking for dignity and all of that, and then you end up being saucy. And I get to wonder, what exactly are you fighting as a feminist? Mr. Michael?
Well, not just what you're fighting, but what you're trying to portray.
Yeah.
People are always looking for role models. And if you're a role model and all you tend to bring is wickedness and also negative vibes around these persons, somebody will wonder what direction you want them to take, and it's quite disturbing, honestly. But I would have even loved to ask a question. Sometimes they come out making such utterances when there's a quarrel or squabble between themselves. So I would like to ask her, who is the latest person you're quarreling with that is making you come out with that notion? I hope the social media will not be a go with a whole lot of speculation of who she's sending that to, indirectly sending that message to. Yeah. But if she's directly sending it to every other person out there, well, definitely, you need to take a new leaf and be different in your approach to things. Let's look at them as being strong persons rather than wickedness being portrayed in some of their actions. It will help a lot.
Yeah, you see people online claim feminist, and then they're trying to demean other people, they're trying to bully other people, and they say it's feminism.
And they feel it gives them an air of, I'm strong.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I should let you know I'm strong. I can't be put down. But put down on account of being wicked, come on, have a rethink.
Okay, that's one thing I know people use a lot. They weaponize feminism and this other thing, this zodiac sign. You see some people really acting weird and they say, well, it's my zodiac sign. And I just get to wonder, what has that got to do with you?
But when they meet soldier, they have a different sign.
So Chimamanda Adichie is saying this message very clear. She's sending it to feminists. especially young feminists in the country, because when it comes to feminism in Nigeria, they take it to the extreme. Like, they're extremists. Feminists in Nigeria are extremists, and I don't buy that idea at all. Most times you see them demean other people, you see them bully people. Yes, you're actually trying to fight for equality and all of that, but some of them try to prove that we're actually better than the male, and that's what they want to achieve, and that's why most of them end up being mean, end up being shitty and all of that. According to Chimamanda Adichie, end up having bad behavior, and it's called wickedness. So that message is very clear. So they said, those that have ears, let them hear. Well, away from that, I saw this statement from Nedu Wazobia, this media personality. He said this very controversial statement online, claiming that ladies, slim ladies, that allegedly get pregnant because they want to add some weight, they get pregnant, add up a bit, and then terminate the pregnancy. I don't know if that is true, though. If it's true, it raises serious concerns about public health. Well, let's see the footage.
What girls they do now for Nigeria? Now Lagos ID. So let me use Lagos. The ones what girls they do now. Some very slim girls. I've heard. I've heard girls do it. So when those girls want to add weight, what they do is they get pregnant. When slim girls want to add weight, they get pregnant. Once they now get pregnant, they don't call add weight, then pregnancy weight. Then they will now terminate the pregnancy.
Well, whether the statement is true or it's exaggerated, but one thing this thing is really telling us is the fact that a pressure that we put on the ladies. When society already puts those beauty standards that maybe some people are too slim, some are too fat and all of that, they try to do all of these things to make sure that they get to that standard that the society has put in place. But going to the extent of getting pregnant and terminating the pregnancy is just a no-no for me.
Well, it's inhumane, it's crazy, it's unthinkable, and I'll just feel he only heard, he has not seen. Let's leave it at that, because I can't wrap my head around.
Well, apart from Nedu saying it, we've actually seen that trend. I think sometime this year we saw the trend online talking about ladies taking in all because they want to add weight, and this is just something you ask yourself. I don't know what is wrong with ladies
to have children and they can't.
I don't know what's wrong with ladies. I don't know why they keep having all of these issues going on. You see the fat ones, they're running to gym, trying to starve themselves because they want to be slim. And the slim ones are busy taking in and terminating it because they want to add weight. Women, what are the problems? I don't know.
They are strong feminists.
This is not about feminists. It's because the society has placed a beauty standards for them. Yes, some people feel they need to be fat, they need to add up, they need to do this because that's what makes them pretty and standing out.
Inferiority complex. The best way you can feel about yourself is in your heart, not how you look. And you know, you can look beautiful and a man marries you and at the end he goes the other way. That's how life is. So the beauty is just be yourself, love yourself, have that inner peace and that inner love for yourself, and that will do well. Not your size.
Yeah, like Mr. Michael said, not your size. The beauty, they say, is in the eyes of the beholder and is also in your mind. So then don't let people define you. Don't let people define how you should see yourself. You should see yourself the way you want others to see you. Yeah, I think that's the best way to fight all of this inferiority complex and all of that, in as much as we feel society has some beauty standards and all of that. But I won't really say society. I feel the men are the ones pushing women into all of this.
And
you
yet
see some of them
to be strong feminists.
You see some of them coming out to say,
well, thank God I'm a man, so I don't have to put anything to look. I'm just the way I look. If you don't like it, well.
So some would say they have specs, and some of these ladies just want to be some of you all specs, and that's why they end up doing things that they don't mind even if they're endangering their own health. They just want to look fine, they just want to look beautiful for you men.
That's the inferiority complex I'm talking about.
It's not, it's what you
wanting to please others to your own detriment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They're trying to please themselves. They don't even care if they're endangering their health. Well, this is alarming if it's true, because it's still allegedly. So if it's true, it's very alarming.
But you know, Nedo hears a whole lot of things.
Yeah, sure. So he hears a lot. So Like I said, it's allegedly.
And it talks a whole lot.
Yes, it talks a lot. It's allegedly. So let's see if we get verified updates concerning this. And once we get, we'll definitely bring them to you. So away from that, Nollywood actress Regina Daniels, yeah, we know she's been trending. But this time around, it's now part of the series of Keeping Up with the Wokos. I know Mr. Michael would be like, oh, Regina Daniels again. But this time around, she shared an inspiring encounter with award-winning singer Tiwa Savage. Yeah, over the weekend, we saw all of those cute photos going on. According to Regina Daniels, the meeting was both uplifting and enlightening, leaving a strong impression on her. She expressed gratitude for receiving guidance from a woman who has navigated similar paths in the entertainment industry. Regina added that Tiwa Savage's words of wisdom lifted her spirit and provided clarity she deeply appreciated. Well, fans have taken to social media to celebrate the mentorship and support between the two influential Nigerian women. Well, when you see people that have taken this path before, maybe you should just go get some past questions. I think that's what Regina Daniels is trying to have there.
All I will say is Rishi. Association of we used to have them.
Okay, that's not true. Regina Daniels actually said a lot that I really felt like. She said, you know, when so many persons, we saw the likes of Annie Idibia, when she left her marriage with Two-Face, we saw Regina Daniels.
Go to Tiwa Savage.
No, she went to Regina Daniels. Regina Daniels actually gave her a shoulder to lean on, and then she said she's always given people, and this time around she received. Okay, she needed one. Yeah, she needed one, and she received, and even Tiwa gave her a huge sum of money. I can see it's not just shoulder. A huge sum of money. She gave her chest also. She gave her a huge sum of money, and she said she's not really used to receiving. She's always giving and never receiving, and then receiving that from Tiwa Savage really gave her this whole feeling of, oh, that means I am still loved. So I really feel I know what she's trying to talk about here, Mr. Michael. Why do you look confused?
I'm confused. She went to collect.
Tiwa Savage helped her with funds because she's going through a lot, knowing the fact that she's going through a lot.
She doesn't have enough funds.
No more Ferrari and all of these things, so Tiwa Savage had to give her something.
Please give her before the girl runs back.
Well, when she came out to say that she's trying to know how to navigate all of this, this is actually telling us that, Regina Daniels, have you really made up your mind? The last time we saw a video of you saying you will go back, was that out of frustration and all of that? And now you're coming to say, for somebody that has gone through that part of life, you really want her to be a mentor and all of that. So is it like you have moved on? Because I was still trying to see if we had small hopes of coming together. But
all I know, if she has moved on, somebody's son will love her one day. That's for sure.
I know what he did there. So it feels like Regina has really made up her mind. She has moved on, but I don't think Ned Nwoko has moved on, because he's saying he still wants her back, but she needs to go for rehabilitation, and so maybe he wants her back, but I don't think Regina Daniels...
She's going around rehabilitating her thoughts and new friends. It will help.
But when you see, if she was going to some other persons like her godmother, Mercy Johnson, taking advice from her, I would say, okay, maybe there's still hope that she would go back to her husband. But for her to go to Tiwa Savage and calling Tiwa Savage a mentor
recently
at
said
this point,
she's lonely and she needs a partner. So I don't understand the comfort.
Now maybe she just wants to know how she was able to cope. Tiwa left her marriage over how many years, and she's just coming out now to say she's lonely and she needs somebody. So it means she wants to know how Tiwa was able to cope all of this years.
Or she wants to understand how Tiwa can advise her, say, dear, don't go the path I went.
Maybe, who knows? That's why you can actually have a mentor, somebody that maybe it didn't work out for her, doesn't really mean it won't work out for you. She has seen life, and she could actually give her the best advice she needs, telling her, well, this path I took is not really favorable, so I would advise you to go back to your husband. So it's more or less like that. So anything, we don't know what they discussed about anything, and we should expect anything from that discussion. In case we see Regina going back, we should know she got some advice from Tiwa Savage to go back to her husband. Well, interesting stories. Today, yes, we've had an amazing time, and you know Monday stories are always like this because we have time all through the weekend to take all of the stories. You know me, I'm always taking some stroll on social media to get juicy gist. And today, once I am leaving here, I am going back to get some more juicy gist. So you do not want to miss tomorrow's edition of Trending. Yes, this is where we have to really wrap things up on Trending. And you know you can drop your thoughts and all your suggestions and everything on our comment section on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV. Well, this is where I have to tell you that I will see you for another great and super amazing edition of Viewpoint, same time tomorrow. I remain Mercy Erabo. Do have a nice day.
Well, anyway, I'm Mike Egobadia. It's always enjoyable that you join us every weekday and from Monday to Friday for us to do this all together on Viewpoint. But we always inform you that you can still remain with us on Atlantic because we have lovely programs all through. But what you do best is to ensure you have a great day. Bye for now.